My name is Barbara Fife. I'm pleased to welcome you in behalf of the Baruch College's School of Public Affairs and our Dean, David Birdsell, and our college president, Kathleen Waldron. We are pleased to hold our last Peter Vallone lecture of this academic year, and Peter is always very present and coming up with topics and perfect timing, but this one hits it right as the state legislature is considering this issue, which is one of the most critical issues for our region. We want to particularly thank the Rudin Family Foundation and the Wilpon Foundation for their support of the Peter Vallone Lecture Series. The School of Public Affairs will be holding one other event this year on May 11th, which will be on reauthorizing mayoral control of the schools, so I urge you to look for the announcement. I am delighted to be able to introduce our moderator this evening, Peter Vallone, whom you all probably know well. He served in the City Council from 1974 to 2002 and was Speaker and Majority Leader from 1986 to 2002. Mr. Vallone has been a wonderful partner of Baruch College. He has taught here. He has served taught a course at the School of Public Affairs. He has established the Vallone CUNY Scholarship Program, which reduces tuition for all city students who graduate high school with a B average or better. And he serves on the Mayor's Election Modernization Task Force. He is also author of Learning to Govern, My Life in New York Politics, and he is deeply involved in every issue that is of importance to New Yorkers. And I'm pleased to introduce Peter Vallone.
Thank you, Barbara Fife. I'm informed that the state legislature is tuning into this program, and whatever we decide tonight will happen. So I appreciate very much your presence and your helping to guide the state legislature in this very serious endeavor that we're about to embark upon. We have a tremendous panel, so I'm not going to spend any time talking. We go for about an hour and 10 minutes, and we leave the last 15 or 20 minutes for questions, not speeches, just questions, while we have this great panel here. And it really is a tremendous panel when we're talking about anything to do with transportation. First of all, we have Peter Goldmark here, who I don't know anybody who's ever been in government, from a council member to a president, that hasn't sought his advice on one subject or another. He former director of the Port Authority, former budget director for the entire state of New York, not former, but a present advisor to many young people who look to get into government. So it's very nice to have you here, Peter. Thank you very much for being with us. Let's have a hand for Peter Goldmark. Seated next to him is one of the real rising stars in the city of New York. He's a council member, a former colleague of mine. He's chairman of the Transportation Committee of the City Council. He's also eyeing citywide office. He majored in mathematical physics, which means that you're totally an expert on everything we're going to talk about tonight. It's nice to have you here. Council Member Lou. Thank you. Thank you. And next to him, we have the voice and ears of every straphanger in the city of New York, Gene Russianoff, the staff attorney and the voice and conscience of NYPIRG and everybody who rides the subways. If there's anything wrong with the subways, he'll tell you about it. If there's anything right with the subways, he might tell you about it. Gene, thank you very, very much for being here. And seated at the end is Dr. Robert Paaswell, who is a national and international expert on transit systems. As a matter of fact, he ran the second largest transit system in the entire country, the Chicago transit system, which if the government of Chicago ran as well as the transit system, we'd have no problems whatsoever in Chicago. That was when Harold Washington was there. Also taught in Yale and Harvard, as did Peter Goldmark. Thank you very much for being here, Dr. Paaswell. It's wonderful to have you. So, the only member of the Ravitch Commission that we have here is seated right next to me, Peter Goldmark. You obviously are responsible for the entire report, and we're anxious to hear from you. But the main question, I guess, since this is for whom the bridges toll, is exactly how much money does the approximately how much money, because no one really knows the answer to this, approximately how much money does the Transit Authority need, and how much of that is needed comes from the bridges, from the tolls itself that are being planned. We'll start off with that and then take each of our Mr. Goldmark.
Thank you very much, Peter. I'm going to be pretty short and pretty general because I think we are, in fact, beyond a lot of the numbers and a lot of the details on this. I'll try and answer your questions, but we are into a raw, paralyzing moment in New York politics. And I think I see some of you nodding already. I think everybody knows it, and I think that is the issue we need most to explore.